Well, hello everyone. I am getting ready to interview Kimberly Lee, and I am so excited about that. And I'm waiting on her to jump on here. So let's see, are you here, Kimberly? Let me see who my viewers are. Maggie's on there. Hey, Maggie. There's Kimberly. So I'm going to add her. Here we go. Take a minute, and Maggie, you got to be so proud of her. I was going to interview Maggie, but she said, no, I think you need to interview Kimberly. So, yeah, this is really exciting. There she is. Look at that beautiful girl. Oh, my gosh. I'm so excited. Okay.
I am too.
Can you hear me, Kimberly?
Yes, ma'am.
But I can't hear you. Oh, I got my volume down. Let me turn up my volume. Okay.
Hey, you can hear me now?
I can't hear you.
Uh-oh.
Okay, let me just make sure. Maggie, can you hear Kimberly? Give us a thumbs up if you can hear, because I can't hear on this side. But I'm going to have to be able to hear her. So let me see what I have done. Oh, I know what it is. It's this microphone. Let me turn it off. Let me turn it off, because otherwise I will not be able to hear you. Okay. All right, say something now.
Okay, you hear me now?
Gotcha now. Let me go put this in the other room because it'll pick it up.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. I am back and we're ready to go. Okay. So, Kimberly, how old are you? Nothing like asking the big question. How
I am
old?
40 years old. About
Okay.
40 years old.
I thought you had to be around 40 because Maggie, your mother, worked for me in 1978, 79, and 80. So here we are. So I remember when you were born.
Yeah.
So amazing. I'm 64.
Yes, ma'am.
I think Maggie's somewhere around that. But we worked in the basement of the hospital, and we had a good time. We did.
I know. I remember hearing the stories.
And you are so beautiful. Okay, so thank you for willing to do this. And we talked this afternoon just because I wanted to make sure we covered everything, because there are people out there that have diabetes. And they have, just like you, they have no clue that you literally can quit taking insulin.
Oh, yeah.
Or at least you can lower it a lot, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Did you think you could?
I never did. And never really, I always thought I had to live my entire life on insulin,
Right.
depending on it.
Did any doctor or anybody ever say you could cure diabetes?
Yeah, of course. They used to say that, but I never knew the way of curing it, never knew the steps to take in order to cure diabetes.
Yeah. But you had tried to come off your insulin. Had you ever tried to do?
I did. They tried to take me off insulin before and put me on pills, try me with pills. But it never really stayed regulated. My insulin still shot up real high. So I always depended on my insulin,
So you've been a diabetic for how many years?
For 20 years now.
Okay.
20 years.
Been on insulin?
Maybe for the last 19, 18 years.
Really? So you got on insulin pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's start with this. So you joined my challenge back in January, the end of January somehow, and you've lost how much weight?
Altogether between 20 and 25 pounds.
Okay. And was it hard to do?
Not at all. Like I said, I always was mindful of what I ate. My problem was more just drinking sodas. I was hooked on Cokes. I drank about 4, maybe to 5 Cokes a day. I was hooked on Coca-Cola. But like I said, it wasn't hard at all. Once I made up in my mind that I really needed to do it and wanted to do it, like I say, I cut down on sodas. First, I stopped and, maybe was drinking 1 or 2 a day. And then I just completely, went cold turkey. and stopped drinking sodas altogether. So
How
it
long
wasn't hard.
how long had you been watching my videos before you joined the challenge?
Maybe 2 weeks. Now my mom always told me, now you need to go ahead and start watching Miss Nancy and her live feeds on Facebook and all that other stuff. I said I will, but never really, took it serious enough to do it. So it was about 2 weeks when I started watching you, and I decided to go ahead, and join.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Okay. So how much insulin were you on to start with when you started the program?
When I started the program, I was on like 36 to maybe 40 units a night. Every night I took that amount. And then it was according to whatever my, sugar was when I checked it. It was on a sliding scale.
What was it running about that time?
About 250, 300.
Yeah. And you know what that do you? I mean, it's just not good for your kidneys,
Not
your
at all.
eyes, nothing. It ain't good for
Yes.
nothing. Yeah.
You're right about it. You're right.
So now what is your insulin? What is your blood sugar now?
Now I check it at night. I check it out during the day and it never get past like 120. So
Okay.
it's been I go weeks without taking insulin now.
Say
Look, if
that
it ain't,
again.
above certain, I go weeks without taking any insulin at all. And the
Wow.
doctors have shot themselves at the numbers. Like when I first started, my A1C used to be as high as 13, but
Wow.
now it's down to a 6.9. So they even amazed at the numbers, how everything done changed.
And that's just in 3 or 4 months. Just imagine in a year from now how much better it's going to be.
That's why I
so
said I
amazing.
wish I would have started this a couple of years ago. When Mom first told me about the program, I wish I would have started then. There's a lot of stuff that I probably could have avoided.
Right. So tell us about your toes. What happened? You had your toes amputated. What happened?
About 2 years ago, I kept catching like little infections and stuff coming from calluses on my feet. And the doctors will work on them, they'll get them healed up. But then after a while, I kind of let it go too far without going to the doctor. And it affected my whole foot. And so they really had it cut, not only my toes, but half of the front of my foot off in order to get all the infection out. So, it's from being a diabetic, losing the toes and stuff. So that really woke me up as far as taking, wanting to start taking this more serious. So.
You think if you had done it 2 years ago, you would have had your toes amputated?
I really do. No, I really don't think I would have had them amputated if I would have started this program years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't really, you probably didn't realize how serious diabetes is.
I never took it serious.
Yeah, right. Well, it is a very serious disease, and so many people are diabetic that don't even realize it because their A1C hadn't gone up yet. They their blood sugars are in the 100 to 115 to 120, hadn't gotten up to the 200 yet. So they're just thinking they're okay. What would you say to those people, Kimberly?
If you can, please just go get your annual checks at your doctor's office. Check on yourself. Get all that checked out. I mean, because like I said, diabetes, not only diabetes, high blood pressure, all that affect your organs. And it affected quick, if you go without getting everything seen about. So please go, and get checked out as soon as possible and get something done about it.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So tell me about what are the other changes other than the insulin and about your energy and your sleep and those things we talked about today?
Well, like I say, I never realized how much, food could make a difference in energy. And like I said, even it might be the insulin as well. As much insulin you take, the more energy it take out of you. But I realized since I changed my diet and got off some of the insulin, how much more energy I do have. And even with the sleep pattern, I used to didn't sleep at all. Like I said, I was on medication at night to help me, just to get some rest. But now I haven't taken any medication for sleep in about 2 months now. And I sleep all during the night. You know, I get 8 hours or more sleep. So it
Okay, well,
just
tell
everything changed.
you know, we have a meditation coach in the app, and so you took on and you did that meditation, and
Hmm.
how is it to deal with things?
It helped a lot. Like I said, not only, you know, learning how to meditate, but it relieves stress as well. You know, I used to stay stressed out constantly, you know, worried about my health. Like I said, I got 2 young kids I worry about all the time. But when I learned how to meditate, you know, like I say, it relieves stress. It kind of, you know, clear your mind and clear your head. And only with that, with meditation, fasting do the same thing as well, you know.
Yeah.
So both of them working together, you know, you can't go wrong.
And then the ketosis, but talk about that. So you're diabetic and you're fasting. How does
Hmm.
that work for How does that work for
Like I
you?
said, at first I was scared of, you know, the fasting situation because I didn't know if it was going to drop my sugar too low or what, but it don't have any impact whatsoever, you know, on your sugar levels. And I could go 4 or 5 hours fasting each day, you know, if I need to. It's no
Yeah.
problem, but it's wonderful, you know. It's
Do you
great.
get do you get hungry?
No, not at all. Mm-mm, not at all.
So you could
Sometimes I have to
probably,
remind myself to eat something, you know, taking
you,
medication. I have to remind myself.
yeah. And you know what I tell my clients, it's easy to stick with, you know, cutting back on the amount of food and eating the Coca-Colas and that kind of stuff if you're not hungry, you know. So that's
Hmm.
what happens when you get into ketosis. So how about your brain and your thinking? Is that better? Do you feel like you have more clarity?
Oh yeah, like I said, with the meditation, it teach you, you know, to have a clear mind. You know, for
Right.
some reason, I don't know how all that stuff works, but it works. I mean, you know, like I say, I used to stay stressed about everything, but it teach you have you know to have a clear mind of you know your
Yeah.
daily. It gets you thinking about your daily things that you need to do. But it just it's amazing. It's amazing. Like I said, I never knew anything about meditation. I done heard about it, but never thought about doing it myself, you know, into
Yeah.
this program. But it's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what would you tell others that are kind of scared to do this, you know, maybe the cost or, you know, I don't know if I can stick with it. Had you ever done anything like this before? A diet? Had you tried dieting before?
I used to try to count my calories a lot. And I used to
Right.
do that, where we're a dietitian and, you know, to try to count calories. But like I said, I never took my health serious enough
Right.
until, you know, all this other stuff went on with amputation and everything else. So don't let it take that, you know, like it did me, to start taking your health serious and your life serious. Like I said,
Yeah.
nothing is more precious than your life. So,
That's,
you know, go ahead and take that stuff. I was scared, but I did it because I knew, you know, what can I lose? You know, so
yeah.
I'm glad I did. Like I said, I wish I would have done it years ago. You
Now,
know, a
so
lot of
this
stuff would be different.
is something you can continue to do. You don't think you'll slip off the wagon and go back to Coca-Colas and all that?
Oh no, like I said, when I try to reward myself not long ago
Yeah.
and drank milk coke, and I got so sick, y'all. I got so sick. You know, that taste is gone. I no longer have that taste. You know, it don't taste right anymore. So no, the what you learn, the way of eating, the way of living, it's simple, really. You know, it's nothing to it. But if you think about what you putting in your body, you know, it's worth it. You know, if it's going to improve your life, you know, prolong your life, it's worth it.
Yeah.
So, no, I don't think I'm gonna go back. Not at all.
All right.
No.
Well, Kimberly, for getting on here and doing this interview. Okay, so here we go.